What's up, and welcome to the episode of NCP that I have no introduction for. I'm joined here by Colin and Hamilton. How's everyone doing tonight?
Not too bad.
Ready to hop into some action? We may be having Hamilton go in and out. He is in the middle of a storm. So if we ask questions to Hamilton and he doesn't respond, just know that that is to be expected, unfortunately. But we're gonna make the most of it.
I'm just
So
gonna do my best Hamilton impression.
let's hear it. That's really good, actually. Um, it's really good. Um,
Thanks.
but let's go ahead and hop into the action. So we had week two go down this weekend. The first game we saw was Freddie's team, the reigning champions of Fredchester United, against Danny's team, which I don't remember the name of. Colin, do you know what Danny's
Red
team is
triple
called?
option.
Red
Spread.
triple
Okay,
option.
yeah, two of the few legacy team names. Um, but this game, uh, couldn't tell you too much about what happened. I think it was a pretty classic captain diff, which I think is probably going to be the moral of the story for most of Danny's games. Ham, do you see any validity in Danny's results coming down to his sidekicks? Okay. I'm gonna stop asking Hamilton questions, and
Mhm.
he'll chime in when we can. Colin, what do you think about Danny's results ba- with respect to his team?
Looking at his team, I think Bowser is obviously the hard carry. Um, he's sitting at my looking at my new stat I created this week. His Bowser is rated as the third highest in impact, I believe. Um,
Do you
So
wanna
that just means he's doing a good job on a good team, essentially.
Yeah? Do you wanna elaborate a little bit more on what impact means?
Yes, so the way it's a new stat, still beta, still in its beta form. It's essentially positional it's weighting team performance by position and as well as individual performance. So if a team scores a lot of goals, the strikers and the midfielders get boosted a lot. And if a team gives up a lot of goals, the defenders and the midfielders as well get hurt by that. Other positions are impacted as well, but that's the basis of it. And then there's also a bonus for players who are scoring a high percentage of their team's goals.
Yeah, and I think we've said it before, but once again, major shouts out to Colin for taking what was already a data driven league to an entirely new level, because that is sick. And it was kind of interesting looking through the table to see that strikers index did line up a little bit with kind of the impact ratings, but
Yes.
as we get more data, impact will just shed so much more light, especially on individual players and individual sidekicks. Um,
The the
because of the
inspiration
positional weight.
Yes, the inspiration was I wanted to try to show some value to players who aren't necessarily goal scorers and players and teams who win like low scoring defensive matchups as well.
Yeah, which
Not just the high flyers.
100% a light that needs to be shed, because like Toad and Boo, like we have no way of quantifying the sheer work that they do other than the fact that we know that they're really good. Um, and there's like little to no doubt about how good Toad and Boo are. So I'm excited for stats that show that. So yeah, super cool.
I
And
will say that I think Danny's Hammer Bro had an absolute game in the second game. And that's why I'm going to stop talking again because I'm realizing that I'm lagging really far behind you guys.
we hear you loud and clear right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is the first thing we've heard. Um,
yeah. Danny's Hammer Bro did actually have a good game. Yeah.
okay, well, Good ups to him. But 2-0 win for Danny. Two of the three of us picked that. Colin had him getting it done in 3, but no surprise. I'm looking at our guarantees here, and we went 3 for 4 on guarantees. We'll get to our mistake later on. But next game was Eric versus Garrett. And if that first game was a story and the power and weight of just captains, the second game was a win for the little guys out there. This Mario team is pretty balanced from top to bottom, so I was pretty stoked to see them get a win. Colin, I think you've been throwing out some takes about Eric's pickup of a second Shy Guy. What do you think it looked like on the field?
He did just switch a Koopa for a Shy Guy, so in theory, a direct swap. But I think the main issue was that it took Saquondo out of the premier position by forcing him to share with another Shy Guy. I think Eric really needs to lean on his maybe probably second best player and the man himself, Saquondo, who had a great week 1 and kind of fell off the map here in week 2.
Yeah, I think it will be the question of, Eric still has the opportunity for triple Shy Guy on the table. And, in terms of statistics, I do think that he will be further jeopardizing Saquondo by adding more Shy Guys in terms of statistical output. But I don't think Garrett had a lot of confidence going into the series, and it was nice to see, a more balanced team. Well, actually, arguably, Eric is a more balanced team, just because he has two balanced sidekicks for some reason. But seeing Mario out there, and Shell came on for one episode, having barely watched any strikers, and said that Mario would have a redemption season, and so far I'm believing it. He's looked really good, and I think he actually, of the balanced captains, is way up there in impact score and is absolutely dominating Luigi. So big ups for Mario, and we'll see if he can keep it going as the rest of the season as he becomes a giant skeleton. But Colin, you and I got that correct, in the wrong game count, but it was a very close series. Ironically, all of these were sweeps, but a lot of them didn't feel like definitive in either direction.
Yes.
I don't know if I can say the same for this next series. We had the captain reversal from last season of Wario versus Did the Kid. Colin, how are you feeling after this series?
It turns out when you move from the first pick in the draft to the 11th pick in the draft, you do get a worse captain. My boy Wario, he did it to me in the revenge game. He was scoring left and right. It was pretty much all Wario, and my team, especially in this first game, just could not get the ball out of our own half. A couple garbage time goals here and there, but the team did not show a lot of promise.
Yeah, I think your immediate response to when the Hamilton Adam trade was announced of swapping, what was it? Boo for Monty? No, Boo for Birdo.
Boo for Birdo.
Yeah, you initially said it was a win-win trade, and I think you hit the nail on the head. That this, Boo wasn't out there scoring goals, but his presence levels up Wario like crazy. Hamilton, did you have any remorse for letting your Boo go and watching him fly out there?
I will always appreciate what the Boo was able to do for our team, but at a certain point, we needed another shooter on the field, and we got that with Berto, and I think she played pretty well this week too. So I'm glad to see that Boo found a nice home at his new place. I do feel a little bad because I feel like I might have made a very powerful team here for Adam, but I got a win out of it, and that's where I'm gonna prioritize.
Yeah. Number one highlight of this game, though, is right here. Watch this play. Look at that. Did he takes away all 3 of his sidekicks? No one on the other team. That's Colin went from Wario putting up like 8 across the two games to that. So feeling the pain.
He won that by not giving up 5 goals to Wario.
not a great guarantee from us, but we also made that before the trade happened. And
Yes.
I would have picked differently if I had known that. But um, I think that was something that definitely is going to shake up the league, and there is a very strong team in spellcasters now, and it's not Hamilton.
Yeah, it is.
Next game, I played against David. Very concerned about this coming in, and it lived up to it. We had our longest overtime of all time. I think I have it typed up somewhere.
216, something along there.
I thought it was
218.
218.
Never touched before on Stormship Stadium. It was absolute insanity. What do you guys think of this David team? I'll pass to you, Ham. They've beaten Mario in 3 and then lost to DK. Do you have hope for them?
I have significantly more hope for them than I do for my own team. I think they will truly struggle to beat a powerful captain, but I mean, this Toad is absolutely popping off. The Monty's shooting well. I think Dave has done a very good job of building around, in my opinion, the second worst um, captain. But I think that's mostly because I think everyone puts Daisy in the same tier as Peach, and I don't know that she is. I think her Mega Strike ability sucks, but I do think she has more value than Peach off the Mega Strike.
Yeah, I think that's true. Colin, real quick, is there any way that you can pull up this Toad on David's team stats? Just because
Yes.
it's got to be absolutely trumping every other Toad in the league.
That
It
is
can't be
Toad
close.
2. Toad as a whole has played 21 games and has 5 goals. Dave's Toad has played 5 games and has scored every single goal that Toad is credited with.
Are any other sidekicks averaging a goal per game?
Um,
Sorry to ask you all this off the
uh,
fly, but now my brain is just running because like that, like
yes, Reed's Dry Bones is over a goal per game along with Ham's Dry Bones.
Let's go.
interesting. I did not know that
And I
Reed's
believe
Dry Bones.
Mr. Monty himself has 7 goals in 4 games.
Either way, for Toad standards, absolute
Yes.
anomaly. Um, Colin, do you think that Daisy is better than Diddy based off what you've seen this season?
Based on what I've seen this season, I think it's pretty close. Both teams are 1-1. Looking at the impact score, they're pretty dang close. Daisy's at a -2.5 with Diddy at a -2.7, which is like 2 of the closest ranks of any of the captains. So I think they're fairly comparable in performance so far this year. We'll see what happens as the season goes on.
That the sheer contrast and impact score between DK and Daisy is absolutely insane. But I want to give like Hamilton said, I want to give David a lot of credit that I think this team has been optimized. The question is if there's a low likelihood that this Toad will keep scoring like this, and where will the goals come if that stops? Um, which I guess Hamilton, you currently have the exact same build as David, correct? Just with different
It's a
players.
yes,
Yeah, you've got a well. I guess you have
and
a
a different captain.
yeah, Birdo, and then captain difference, but similar sidekicks. So,
Yep,
um, next
and
game I
it's
think was
paying out.
a contender for game of the week was Reed versus Jacob, and after week one, Jacob frequently is negative about his team, but I think he was really feeling in the dumps, and I was excited to see him get the win. And Mr. Monty was absolutely popping off. Um, Hamilton, do you know if Reed has engaged with his team at all?
I define engaged with his team.
Like, does he know how they're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, he was in town this weekend, and so we were talking about it on Friday before rosters were due. And then he asked me Sunday morning how his team went, how his team did. Um, and I informed him, that they did not do well week 2, but they did do well week 1, which he knew already.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did not help him pick maps this week, which is why I don't think they go to Wastelands here.
I think Jacob banned it.
Jacob
It was
banned it?
Jacob's first ban.
Okay,
I believe that. I don't think he'll be going back there this season.
fair enough. But I think that Reed's team didn't play their best strikers here, but I think that they can play better in the future. Like, I don't think that his fate is sealed the way it is for some other people with a captain named Peach.
Yeah, and this game actually took Jacob to the top of spellcasters. I
Mhm.
don't. We'll talk later on about if we think he actually is the best team. But Colin, as someone who is not at the top of spellcasters,
I'm at the bottom of the Mushroom Kingdom.
yeah, you don't. Do you play Jacob
Next week.
next week? How are you feeling going into that matchup? Because I'd be a little bit scared.
I am scared.
Good talk.
I'm scared. I would like impromptu. We're doing it. It's not its own segment. I'm putting this in the middle. It's time for Colin's fun fact of the week. The only player with 2 single game impact scores in the top 10. So the impact score is calculated for each game. The only 2 top 10 individual goal or individual impact performances is Mr. Monty with his 2 performances this week, coming in at 7th and 9th highest individual impact scores.
Absolutely insane numbers from Mr. Monty. And honestly, Yoshi as a whole has looked pretty good too. I really feel like, obviously Koopa is never really going to be doing much out there, but I don't feel like Jacob doesn't even have a dry bones. Yeah, so it's really just come down to Monty and Yoshi. And they probably will be the keys to success. Does he play his Monty in midfield? 'Cause if so, I feel like that's rare. I don't hate it, but if he's scoring
Does
that
plays Monty in midfield
interesting.
with the defensive Koopa.
Interesting. That is food for thought for other captains out there. They got it done this week.
Let's see.
But yeah,
This week we had 3 defensive Monties and 2 midfield Monties, right? No, 4 defensive Monties and 1 midfield Monty this week.
and the only
Last
one
week
is
it was
Mr. Monty in the midfield.
Yeah. Last week it was 3 midfield Monties and 2 defensive Monties. So it switched up between weeks.
That is certainly food for thought. But Hamilton and I went with Reed. Colin was the only one who picked Jacob correctly, which secured the golden picker, as everyone knows. Because Colin went 5 for 6 this week. I think we are tied. Colin and I are tied for Preds. Hamilton one behind after going 3 for 6 this week. But last week we guaranteed. Hamilton, I know you were just getting caught up on the VOD. I take it you watched your game against Grant.
I did watch my game against Grant. It was a great time. I really appreciated so initially I got told that I got swept and I wasn't very surprised by that information. To learn that both games went to overtime does give me a little bit more hope in the team itself. But I did really appreciate being up 2-1 on Crystal Canyon with about 5 seconds left. And I wasn't able to be present in this because if I had been, I would have been tipping my hat to my great opponent of Grant. And instead, Austin called game. And as a result, my team was defeated in overtime after giving up a goal with less than 6 seconds left. But we will try and make some changes and run it back next week. I don't know who we play, but they're in for a mighty problem as I just watched Peach charge up a Mega Strike and get put in the boards. I'm very excited about my team, if you can't tell from the tone of my voice.
Yeah, which there are lots of there are some trade offers on Hamilton's end, currently sitting in the Discord. So we'll see if anyone bites on that. Because he's tossing out some interesting stuff. I think he's more likely to get a trade with his than I am, unfortunately. If anyone, if Bowser, PD, or Wario want the definite best captain in the league, just let me know.
You sure
Um,
you
Or
don't
if
want?
they want that true, definite best captain in the league
How about this?
and a
I
dry
accept
bone.
Sam's trade, and then I trade my captain with Austin, giving me Donkey Kong and 2 dry bones.
yeah, sounds great. Um, but let's go ahead and go to our power rankings. We're gonna do another just league wide power rankings, and then we'll get into conference stuff next week. But as of right now, I think that there's still not too much data, and also too we're still in interconference play. We're just getting warmed up. So we'll do it usual way, go down the line, and then we can resort afterwards. Um, okay, let's see. I will go first here. Um, Colin, can you? Sorry to keep asking you things. I just know you have the doc open. Can you tell me who Danny has played so far this season?
Danny has played Hamilton
Mm-hmm.
and Freddie.
Two best teams in
But
Spellcasters.
as of right now, the only two 0-2 teams.
Um, so I'm gonna ignore Danny, and I'm gonna move the Flying Dutchman, as cursed as that feels to say, into A. Um, I do not think that Adam has a lot of knowledge, but he is locked in this season. He is watching his games, and he is talking to me about it. Where he would last season, he would ask me things, but he'd just be like, "Oh man, like I lost, didn't I?" And that was like the end of the conversation. Now, like he's putting actual thought into it, and to be honest, I don't even know if he needs to put more thought into it. He may like and this is not Hamilton. You've already apologized. Like I do not think that you built like just a team that's way better than everyone else. I think it could be. I think it's very strong. I think it's a team that every single one of the good captains had an opportunity to build, but chose not to. So there's nothing dirty about this. But he may just have the most strong team, and Wario looked unreal. So I think he belongs in A, even though he's at 1-1.
I will also document that I did offer this trade to two other captains who both told me to walk. And so I'm not saying it's their fault that the trade happened, but I'm saying they had the same opportunity.
Can I ask, were those balanced captains or
They
power?
were one was a shooting, one was a balanced.
Interesting. Um, yeah. I mean I think for Adam it was a no brainer. For other people, I could see them thinking
Yep.
about it, but
Yep.
still, even having the opportunity to secure a boo is that is major impact. I don't know what Boo's impact rating is, but I know Boo does stuff on the field. Can't tell me otherwise. Colin, who do you want to place?
I would like to place. So I'm gonna go easy here. I'm gonna put the best team in the league at the top of the board. And that would be the Baked ZDs. Get Diddy out of there. Put him back where he belongs. But yeah, I think Donkey Kong right now. We'll see if it holds up. Donkey Kong is on an absolute heater right now. The 3.0 striker index, a 13 impact, which is over double or almost double the next highest person. They've gone 4-0. They're scoring let's see, 3.3 goals per game and only allowing 1.5. Like best defense in the league and up on top of the best offenses. Right now, best in the league. We'll see if Donkey Kong can keep it up.
All I'm saying is I am still undefeated in the regular season, Do I already have as many wins now as I did in the entirety of last regular season? Yes. Last season I tied 9 times and won twice. But but
Yeah, but you can't tie anymore.
yeah, that's right.
I have
But
as many losses as I did last season in the regular season.
the boys are showing out. Hamilton, what do you want here?
Give me spread triple option. Bowser. Nope. Yes, Bowser. In B. I think that there's a gap between Wario and Donkey Kong and Bowser, but I think that there is a reason that he is 2-0. And even though it's against me and Freddy, who are the 2-0-2 teams, he has beaten us. So I will tip my hat and congratulate him on a B rank.
The other thing is like similar to Wario, at any one point he is one trade away from being the best team in the league. Like
Yep.
if he can swap, probably, I'm just spitballing here, but if he swaps his Hammer Bro, which is, someone who has like decent trade capital, for a speed sidekick, instantly into A tier, instantly possibly the best team in the league. So yeah, I think that's completely valid. Okay. Oh man. So we got both the Mario Bros at 1-1. Those are all our. We only have 2-0 teams, correct? It's just
Yes. Two 2-0s, 2-0-2s, and the rest are 1-1.
um crazy things happening in the back rooms that I'm hearing rumors of. Crazy things. Oh my god, Hamilton. Um
Is it Colin's pick or is it your pick?
it's my pick. I'm gonna put Waluigi in D. I'm gonna take an easy bite there. I think Freddie might be rethinking a couple things about this season, and one of them has definitely got to be his current build. I don't know what he can do to really improve. I guess he does have trade capital. Um,
He's got a trade offer.
okay.
Just throwing it out there that that trade offer is good for that trade. I will take Waluigi.
And then Freddie has 0 dry bones, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Freddy would have one. And Peach.
I mean, I see no reason to not talk about trade offers that were denied. I don't see any reason to protect the sanctity. Um, Hamilton just texted me, Colin, and said that he offered Danny Boo for Hammer Bro.
I think I knew that.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, I see no reason to not be above board with these things.
Okay.
So it's we can talk in public, but so if he took that trade, interesting. Because I feel like that what you're offering has significantly more value if you already have a dry bones. But
I would not disagree with that, but also at the same time, if you don't have a dry bones, adding a dry bones, I don't think is bad.
it's never been a bad option at any time ever in history.
Yeah.
And his current team looks horrendous. So definitely could be valid. Colin, where are you going next?
I want to take. I'm as the stats guy. I'm gonna have stats driven answers. I want to put Bowser Jr. in C tier. Just currently sitting at 14 goals for, 14 goals against. Pretty solid impact score actually, but I think that doesn't include like looking at the rankings wise. Wario will climb above him pretty easily. So I think C's a good tier right now for Bowser Jr. and two Birdos.
Yeah, another one too, where one trade away from being decent. But I mean, I think Wario's a better captain than Bowser Jr., so he probably needs to maybe be 2 changes away from being pretty solid. Ham.
I don't know exactly where I want to put this person, but I'd like to take Daisy, and I want to put him either bottom of C or top of D in my mind. They are distinctly better than the teams that are bad. But I don't know if they're good enough to beat a team that's good. So I'm going to say bottom of C.
Interesting. I think
I will be talked out of that if someone would like to talk me out of that. That's what I will also say.
we'll do the talking at the end.
Yeah.
But I do have some thoughts on that. Man, there are a lot of middling teams here. Colin, do you want the layup or do you want me to take it?
You can have it.
Okay. I'm gonna put you in D, Ham.
What?
I am gonna put you ahead of Fred. And that's not a courtesy thing. I just think that your team is better, and I think in a head to head you'd probably take it in 3. I don't know. Freddie's team is looking pretty ugly. Colin,
Can I place myself, or should I let one of you guys do that?
that's fine with me. Ham.
Up to you. I don't care.
I would like to place myself in the D tier, right above Peach. right there. There we go. The team has 1 win. It was against our current last ranked team. We did get smoked by an A tier. Maybe we can climb into a C with a decent performance against Yoshi, but we're scoring 1.5 goals per game. It's not really going to get the job done.
I was going to ask, can you relabel D to teams that don't score?
You were actually the highest scoring of those 3 teams at 1.8 goals per game. Slightly above Dave at 1.6.
I'm looking at the table, and it's Dave has 8 goals on the season. Freddie has 6. I have 7, and you have 6. The next lowest is 13.
Is Austin at 13.
Austin and Danny at 13. But our teams also don't give up a lot of goals.
That is true.
That's great.
I got a surprising stat for you.
Ooh, time for Ham's fun stat.
Just looking at the table, the teams with the most goals for, team goals for. 1 makes a lot of sense. The Flying Dutchman, Wario, powerful team. 2, the Mighty Luigi. Also has 17 goals.
Which
Luigi puts up goals.
If you subtract 9 and add a reasonable amount of 3, then
AKA subtracting 6.
Yeah, it makes a little bit more sense, but you are right. With Luigi only scoring 5 of those goals, I think his dry bones has just been going absolutely off.
Absolutely.
Hamilton, would you like to place someone?
I would like to play someone. Give me I don't like doing this, but give me PD and B. I think that I'll get argued on this one, but I will state that I think that PD himself is playing well, and the roster that's developed around him is bad, but because PD isn't bad, that team is never out.
Yep. I mean, it's pretty much the exact same argument that's levied for Danny.
Yeah.
And the reverse argument is the case for the Did and Peach and most of our speed captains. All right, you good to call the tier list here? I don't know what to do with these teams. I mean, I think the Mario Bros should be together. They've pretty much done the exact same thing.
It's interesting looking at them. Mario's team has allowed a lot less goals, and Luigi's team has scored a few more. is interesting. Their performances overall are pretty similar at the moment, though, like in terms of wins. But the way
Crazy
they're
that they're
doing it is
I
backwards.
think I'm gonna put Yoshi into the bottom of B. You know, willing to hear stuff out later, but it feels wrong to put him in the same tier as Bowser Jr. considering just how dominant that win was. Um,
Yeah.
that was like a tier gap level win. It was in two and it was a comfortable in two. So I'm gonna put him in B.
okay with that.
Colin, what do you want to do with one of the bros?
I kind of want to stick Mario also at the bottom of B, but below Yoshi.
I think that's reasonable.
Can
Is
I
that
just put Luigi right behind Mario?
That'd be crazy if I wanted Luigi at the top of C. No, I think that's fine.
it is insane how
Bowser Jr.
much
might be underrated here.
more value Mario is getting than Luigi right now. Complete reversal, small data set, but potent. Um,
I would also counter that it's crazy to me. I don't think that their sidekicks are that different,
they're the
but there
exact
is an
same.
11, and there's an 11 goals against difference.
Yes, which let's see. Reed played against Adam and
Adam pre-trade.
pre-trade Adam,
Retreat Adam
and then Garrett played
and
against
Jaco,
Dave. Very different team.
and then Eric.
And then yeah, so
And
not a lot of
smoked
overlap
Eric.
in what they played against. So
Yeah.
it's kind of different data. All right. Open table to shifts that anyone wants to make. You know, to be honest, I'm not
We
mad
can no
at
longer
this.
see the table.
What'd you say?
We can no longer
You
see the
minimize.
table.
Yeah.
You minimize something.
Oh,
We
is
can
that
now see the table.
okay? There. Thank you for that.
I don't hate the table. Looking at my again, going back to my goals for versus against graph at the end of the table and at the end of the tier list and comparing, there's a lot of overlap there, and I like to see that.
How we feel about this?
I don't hate that at all.
I'm just laughing at the fact that you placed him, and then you're like, "Wait a second, I want to move him." Um, I'm okay with that.
I'm also
My
just
only
thinking
concern is
in terms of head to head matchup. I do think that Yoshi could be a hard counter for the slow teams, but go ahead, Ham.
I agree, but my concern is Yoshi is currently relying on a Mr. Monty who's absolutely popping off
That
to
is
the
true.
same tune that PD and Bowser are relying on their captains who are doing well. And so it's just a question of who do we think's not gonna suddenly do well out of those? And my money would be on the sidekick, not the captain.
That's
That's fair.
fair.
Yoshi does have a good amount of magistrate goals for himself, which isn't bad, and
That's fair.
obviously, I guess that's kind of inconsistent as well.
Well, I do think that you know, Mega Strike captains map pick and ban is more important. And if Jacob has taken the first step to getting online with that by banning Wasteland, and if he starts to emphasize maps that are even optimal for Mega Striking, which also too, as I'm saying this out loud, the exact same is true for Bowser and PD. Um, which Danny didn't submit a form for week 2. And I don't know what Eric's cooking. So I think that, you know, a lot of it's gonna come down to like, can they take the next step in their evolution? The next step in Danny and Eric's is just making a trade. I don't really know
I
what.
I've
actually
got
think
one.
Yoshi would do great on Wastelands this week.
Yeah,
I think
I
I
think
think
I
that
think I think the Jago should pick Wastelands this week.
I think
this is grasping at straws here, but what do we think on the order of Daisy and Bowser Jr.?
I think Bowser Jr. should be higher than Daisy.
I would disagree.
Which They played this. They both played Mario. No, they didn't. This is not a true. So, Colin, you said you think Bowser Jr. should be higher, and Hamilton, you said you disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Colin, give me your thesis for Bowser Jr. top of C.
Bowser Jr.'s been cooking. He's got 7 goals
Did he score in
himself.
week? Did he score in week 2?
That is a question that I can find an answer to.
That's a question that I know the answer to, and he did not score a single goal in week 2.
Who has he played? He played me and who?
That would be Grant, who played Dave week 1.
And Grant won.
And lost to Dave. He did lose to Dave. No, I'm looking at Garrett. I can't read. He lost to Eric.
He lost to Eric week 1.
Yeah. A lot of similar letters there.
So basically, they're interchangeable, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I guess the question is, they play tomorrow. Who wins? I personally pick Dave.
I picked Dave.
Sorry, Colin.
I think that
fine.
This is a very good game, though. I think it's going 3.
Yeah. And at any point, if Grant decides to make a trade, he probably wins. Anything else?
Do you know if Grant checks his Discord? Side note. Completely unrelated
no.
to that.
Adam checks his Discord. Grant does not. Yeah.
If you wanted to relay my message of a trade to Grant, I would not be upset.
I'll let him know. He can do with it as he wants. But Grant did love some speed captains. Let me tell you, as someone who saw his draft form, he did love captains in general. All 8 of his picks were captains. He's just a sucker for a good leader.
He might not have realized that we were also drafting sidekicks, is what I might throw out there.
Yeah, but I also will throw out there is an abundance of information available on this league. The fact that there is as much information on this league as there is insane. Like, we put everything in writing, communicate very clearly, and hold a weekly podcast. So the amount of sympathy that I have for someone not being educated on SPL is 0. But I'm gonna give 10 seconds. Anyone have any other shouts? I don't know if there's anything that anyone wants to change in teams don't score or the top tier, but this is looking pretty darn good to me.
I like this.
Looks good to me.
All right, 10 seconds are up. All right. Let's go into week 3 predictions. So this is the final week of interconference play. As of right now, the MFMK is up 8-4, looking like a dominant conference. But there has been a new beast unleashed in the Spellcasters.
Before we just jump straight in, I'd like to wager a prediction of how many guarantees do you think there will be?
Last week we had 4. You said 5, Colin?
I think there's going to be at least. I think I'm going to go with 4 guarantees this week.
I'm going to go with 3. And I will intentionally sway the results to make sure that doesn't happen.
It's fine. I'm going for the prediction lead this year. Going for the prediction win.
The golden picker.
Just sounds wrong.
Freddie versus Reed. For me, I feel obviously things change in a blink of an eye, but this feels as cut and dry as possible. Has Reed lost in 2 and won in 3? I'll give Freddie a map. I feel bad for the champ, which is probably a bad call considering we've had profoundly more sweeps this season than last year. Ham, what are you taking?
We Reed in 2.
Let's make it a sweep reading. I tried to give Freddie map last week. He didn't get it. I'm gonna keep trying to give him a map though. He's gonna get one eventually.
Not gonna give up. Eric versus me. I don't think I've played any good captains yet. Played against Daisy and Yoshi. Haven't played against another power captain. I'll say that he has a game. PD's
Give me
mega
Austin
striking.
in 2.
I'm liking Ham's Preds more than I'm liking mine.
PD Piranha Revenge game. Austin in 3.
Game singular, I see.
The game is singular.
Adam versus Grant. At the start of the season, we had this pegged with a lot of excitement as, the mirror match. Dude, if Hamilton gets this trade-off with Grant, which
would be legendary.
Yeah. There's a non-zero chance. I will probe Grant because just, for the sake of an engagement. And if he decides to make the wrong choice. Also, trades have to be approved. If it gets too predatory, probably have to veto.
It's the trade I'm offering. It's the same for anybody. But give me Adam in 2.
Ooh. I'm sorry. Hi guys. Can I make a surprise appearance?
Yes, you can hop in for Preds right now.
I know. I was asleep and then I woke up to a text and felt myself called.
Ham, did you say Adam in 2?
Give me Adam 2.
I'm gonna go Adam in 2 as well.
All right.
A true guarantee.
Yeah.
There's our 3. There's our 3.
Well, it's not a guarantee yet because Garrett's got to make up for some picks.
The prediction was before Garrett joined.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If it helps, I also think I'll be going. Adam is Bowser Jr. Grant is who's Grant? Is he Wario?
Adam is Wario. Grant is Bowser Jr.
Oh, guys, I can't go against Wario. You think Wario's gonna get swept?
No, we're saying
Wario's
gonna
sweep.
Okay, good. Okay, well, let me run down the line really quickly. I think Luigi does beat Waluigi, so I'll take Reed in 3. Eric versus Austin. Give me the Austin sweep, and then give me the Wario sweep as well to keep it a true guarantee. I like that.
We have not strayed off of each other.
I don't think there's a reasonable stray. The only thing that I think would matter would be the map picks, and I just don't think that these lads are gonna make the right map picks necessary to beat the underdog stories that they're running today.
Okay, well, I'm looking at the last 3, and I do think there is some cause.
I will vary some here.
Yeah, I hope so at least.
I think there's one game to pick this week.
I'm gonna be honest. Danny is pissing me off. I do not like Danny's team. I'm also changing it to Reed in 2 because I'm at too many 3s now. But he will get at least one game. I believe in effort. I believe in hard work, and Dave can do it. Dave can outcoach him. He can get it done in 3. Hamilton.
Give me Dan in 3. I'll give Dave a single game.
I'm looking at this game, and I'm looking at the captains of this game, and I'm looking at the person who just joined this week. We have Bowser versus Daisy, the Blockbuster trade of Season 1. Garrett, the
played these games before.
You could sense the mood change in Garrett when he got Bowser. Dan in 2.
I also agree with Dan in 2, and I hate it, but I can't go against big man Bowser. It's in 20. Dan, screw it. Yeah, Dan in 20.
That'd be worse.
That's it. It's just Danny winning 20 straight games because that's the streak we're on right now, it would seem. Has anyone taken a game on him yet?
No.
That's what
he has not played good teams. Let's be clear. He has not played good teams.
I was gonna ask what the map picks were, but then I'm realizing it's probably better to ask what the team picks were. I know we played Ham, but was it Eric?
Ham and Fred.
Ham and Fred. Fred's
Yeah.
team doesn't. Oh, Fred's team does suck.
Yeah. Yeah. And this was
Yeah, the
and
boo toad.
this was
My
week
team.
1 ham all speed.
Hamilton, what are you up to nowadays?
Hamilton had
You have a
3
hammer bro now, right?
You
Or
got a
Birdo.
Birdo.
Okay.
I am glad that I blocked the guarantee here, and I do think that David listens now that everyone who listens is on the podcast. I think David might
That's
be
good. Yeah, that's
David
true.
might be our only listener, and I just want to this one's for you, David. I've come full circle. I used to be a David hater, but I believe in the kid, and I think there's a very real world where he could have actually beaten me. Both those games were pretty much coin
want
flips.
Dave to win this series. Don't get me wrong, but I'm supposed to predict who I think will win the series, not who I want to win.
Yep.
That is a tough segue into the next game.
Meanwhile,
Can I make my prediction first?
Yeah.
Jaco will win this game in 2.
Full confidence in Colin.
God,
Diddy is
I
just
don't-
so mid.
not mid. Bad.
I don't even. He's bad.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I've been debating what maps to go for, and I just don't have.
Yeah.
I
just
don't
thought
have an answer.
I was gonna go for you, but then I just had that exact same thought where, theoretically there's a world where Wasteland, if like this were weeks past, Wasteland gets in and maybe you sneak a Crystal Canyon that ends up being a good upset pick, but Wasteland's not getting in, and I don't know if I believe in Crystal Canyon against Yoshi. So
Well, I believe, Crystal Canyon, my entire team's just gonna get squashed.
Yep. Significantly better than the Portal. Hamilton, what you got?
Jacob in 3. I think Colin gets 1.
I'm matching someone else's picks way too hard right now. No, I'm not good. Yeah, I also think Jacob sweeps here. I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot of. I don't know if we've talked about the results of last week already. We probably have, but there was a lot of sweeps last week.
Only
Yeah.
sweeps last
Only
week.
sweeps.
And by a lot, I meant there was not a single map 3 at all.
Of our 12 games this season, there's only been 2 map 3s.
Yeah,
What a turnaround from last year.
very interesting.
Okay. Hamilton versus Garrett.
Hamilton's team is now Drybones, Birdo, Boo, Peach, or Toad Peach.
The Toad Peach.
Drybones.
You have no more
Drybones.
Boo. Okay.
I'm gonna be real. I don't think that's the team that's gonna go onto the field. I don't think so.
Who's available in the portal right now? Shy Guys and Koopa, right?
Hamilton is gonna be shipping some trades.
Okay.
So I don't think we're gonna see.
Well, they're due Wednesday.
They're due Wednesday. Yep.
Okay.
He's got 2 days to make magic happen.
Waiver pickups are due Wednesday.
To that end, post trade, if I would like to submit my lineup, if I would like to change, is that okay?
You can resubmit.
Or am I? Okay, I was gonna say because I submitted my stuff today,
You can resubmit.
forgetting that there is a waiver wire that has to go through still. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
I might
you
resubmit.
you can resubmit. That is totally fine.
Okay.
As long as you do it before Friday at midnight, that is totally
Perfect.
fine.
That it can be done. Yes. Most of my picks are for me, not against my opponent, but
Yeah, I'm actually just based off speculation. I'm going ham in 3.
what the fuck could your team turn into? Who are you fleecing? You have a goddamn Peach, bro. Like,
Give me Garrett in 2.
He does not have the same belief.
I did
Colin?
something wrong here. Sorry, I was looking at the stats and I gave myself the wrong dry bones when I named him. My dry bones significantly worse than Garrett's dry bones. I actually
my
have
dry
Garrett's
bones.
team rated pretty high by advanced statistics. He's got what I have as the best dry bones, the best hammer row, and who's your other character?
Boo. I got Boo. I think I've got Boo number 4.
You have Boo 4.
I
Boo
think.
4 is the worst Boo, but
Yeah. To be fair,
He's
it's
got-
because I have the best dry bones and best hammer, bro. I imagine.
yeah, well, it's a lot of teams-based statistics. I don't know exactly how I made the stat. I haven't fully flushed it out yet, but I have Garrett's team as ranking fairly high in my statistics. I'm gonna take Garrett in 2.
I do like this. I don't know where you're getting these stats from. Is this a visible thing?
I made a new stat. It's in this document that
I know. I'm looking at it. Is this the impact data?
impact. Yes.
Do I have Boo 4? Do I have Boo 4? Is that confirmed?
No, it is not confirmed. You have Boo 5.
I have Boo 5. Okay.
Boo 5.
Boo 5.
The second best Boo.
Haha! Look, we drafted our team around
what a
sidekicks.
turnaround.
We
I don't
drafted our
know
team around
who- I
sidekicks.
don't know
Oh,
who is named
I gotta have
Boo.
faith in myself because if I don't, then who will? And it's exactly my opponent and Colin. So give me it in 2.
So
If nobody got me, I know my opponent got me. I think.
Don't you worry.
I am the only one breaking any of the guarantees.
Can you bump me up to 3 for Garrett?
Put me up to there. You go.
I feel like this week every game has a clear favorite and underdog, and I hope we get some upsets. But I think there is very clearly a favorite and an underdog. Like I don't know if any of these teams are even in the same tier that we put them in our tier list.
I mean, there are some that are close.
Yeah.
Eric and me. Dave and
Yeah, but your team's been cooking.
yeah, but he's got a PD. That a guarantee on that is crazy. But you know, we only have one absolute guarantee. That's Adam versus Grant. Colin, can I make a statistical
Hell is
request
Grant's
that you
team?
can say no to? Is
Sure.
there any way to isolate for just this week for Garrett's Hammer Bros impact score?
Yes, I can do that. real
Just
quick.
see what he did last week.
Garrett, did you
what
watch
Hammer
the
Bros
VOD?
I did. I woke up and I watched the game. I was very happy
Garrett
with
has
how the
Hammer
boys
Bro
works.
2.
That Hammer Bro has had enough of Eric shit talk, I think, and
Yeah.
he came to play.
Hammer Bro 2, you played 3 games week 1. He had
Did I have Hammer Bro? Yeah, I had Hammer Bro 2. There it is. I'm
wait.
looking at it. 4 goals. I didn't realize he had that many.
Let's see. What were the scores?
His impact was 17.9.
That's 17.9, and what was the other score? 4-1.
The other one was 4-1. Yeah.
17.9 and 7.2 for his
Yes.
two
His
games.
impact. What is impact
Jesus
score calculated
Christ.
by?
It's a big formula.
That combined. Just give me an idea of what it combines.
Team goals for weighted by position, team goals against weighted by position, and then goal participation.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So Hammer Bro 2 has the 5th highest individual impact
And
score.
3 of them are
Is he the
strikers.
highest by sidekick?
No, there's actually Dry Bones 5 is higher.
Dry Bones 5, yeah, second highest.
Which is Reed's Dry
sidekick
Bones, I
impact.
believe.
Yes, there was Reed's Dry Bones last week.
Let it be known that both Mario and Luigi teams just have insane stats for some reason.
And I've realized I need to put an option to sort by week in my
Alright.
impact.
Mario
So this
and
is our new
Sort
segment
by
that we'll be doing weekly, where we just look in the treasure trove of Colin's stat document. To any audio listeners out there, I'm sorry, this will be happening every single week. No ifs, ands, or buts. But I think that we will actually wrap it up there because I don't think we got too much more to talk about. Garrett, any hot takes? Hopping in late on the mic.
Okay, so hot takes. Do we do a tier list this week?
We did. I
We
can
did.
show you. I could. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can take a look through that. We'll just
Yeah.
speed run you in the podcast, Garrett.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. I like all of these. I think as the weeks go on, I truly think that we'll start to have the standard deviation will arise, and I truly think that this Bowser team just goes downhill as this. I know it's not really a hot take, but
I'd say that's hot.
let's look. Dave goes against Dave this week, followed by then me in week 4, and then Reed. So pretty much the same thing in 4 and 5. Then you. Like reasonably, I could truly see Danny losing the next 4 games in a row, and and that wouldn't surprise me. I think that's probably like my own hot take. This Bowser Jr. team is a shell of what Bowser Jr. could be. The Waluigi team can't score without dry bones. This PD team being B is foul. It is easily D, but there's no DMCing. So,
There's a D.
Would you want to put PD in C?
I would want to put PD in C at least. I frankly, why is he B?
Because it's PD.
PD's good, but PD just got swept by a team that had no right sweeping him.
Who'd he lose to?
Me.
Oh. Yeah, I think you earned yourself a. Who did PD beat? He beat Grant.
Was
Yeah, he beat
who was
Grant.
it?
He beat
Eric
Grant.
versus Grant.
He beat Grant.
Yeah.
Week 1. I think that's valid. And then
Okay, you can now sort impact by week
Nice.
Sick.
and filter by week.
Sick.
I think this PD team is also just gonna nosedive now. Like, let's think about it. The team that it beat week 1 was Birdo, Shy Guy, Bowser Jr.
Yeah, but I think the argument
those
is
are
that
PD's only
is
ones.
that the floor is just high. So I
The
think
floor is high. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but there's a very large difference between a high floor and a low ceiling.
yeah.
And I don't think PD has even a mid ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, those are my only hot takes. Also, go Mario and Luigi, just because gotta root for Reed. Because by rooting for myself, I'm rooting for Reed.
Gotta root for the boys. That's a good take though. You know what, Garrett? We'll slap him into C for you.
Impact, baby.
Impact. Pull up Garrett's stats. But on that note, I think we'll wrap it up. Until it's time for some week 3 action. I am actually very stoked. I'm excited to get into conference play. This is our
huge.
final week of interconference. And I think our format is so much better in like literally every way possible. Where last season it felt like we had gone through like hundreds of games before it felt like they really had meaning. But I feel like every game is pretty meaningful this season, and we're really going to get into the meat and potatoes of it soon. So on that note, thank you to anyone who has listened to this point, and we'll see y'all next time.
Dave.
Bye.